Good evening. Welcome to Cut Deep Season 4, Episode 4. Thank you for tuning in tonight. The concept of Cut Deep was developed with a focus on encouraging the wider public to think more in depth on issues that plague us, encouraging persons to have a voice and to use that voice to invoke change. Cut Deep is an interactive platform cutting through the noise and political rhetoric. It is raw, uncut, challenging you to think critically. What do the issues mean for us? What part do we play? It is a platform that will move the Virgin Islands toward unified, integrated success. I want to welcome back Blossoms Florist as our support sponsor for Cut Deep. I want to highlight and thank those of you who continue to support this platform from behind the scenes. Thank you. We're going to take a short break and we're going to be back with the show for tonight.
Our floral experts use their creative flair to design beautiful and exotic bouquets. We are the on-island wedding experts, and for boating enthusiasts, we can help you to add a touch of floral elegance, life, and color to your yacht, mega yacht, both locally and internationally. We've even worked with celebrities. At Blossoms, we continue to deliver smiles and watch our customers bloom.
Welcome back to Cut Deep, Season 4, Episode 4. Thank you to our sponsors and supporters for having our back each season. Kishma is in the studio with me tonight, and you may understand why. We've had some developments over the past few days, and we're going to address them now, right here, tonight. Kishma, thank you for being back with me tonight on Episode 4 of Cut Deep. I had a different show planned for tonight, which would have been the celebration, the 1-year celebration of Cut Deep, but I've pushed it back to next week. And I just wanted to have Kishma in studio with me tonight based on the developments that happened over the weekend. Kishma, I want to, before I go any further, to say thank you for continuing to have my back. When I called you on Saturday, when I told you what I was trying to do, you straight out the door, you were like, I'll be there. You even assisted me with getting the graphics done so we could get it out. It came out a bit late, but we got it out nonetheless, and our intention was to be on the road Saturday morning based on developments that came across the media on Friday. By 284 Media that the writer-editor Ron Grant had put out. Before I go there, I want you to oblige me, Kishma, because there is some conversation going on. And I want to tell you what I find when people see success or potential success, we try to find a way to divide and conquer. Now, you have your platform, I have my platform. You kicked off your platform on a particular topic, a topic that we don't see fully eye to eye on. However, I think that people continue to try to throw it in the mix.
Great.
In terms of, trying to throw a wrench, I think, in what we're trying to develop. And what I want people to know, and I know you're on the same page with this, people don't need to see eye to eye on the exact same things. They don't need to, see eye to eye, be exact on some things or everything. That doesn't mean that we're not moving towards the same goal and trying to figure out a way how to be unified in accomplishing that goal. And I'm going to talk about it a bit because I really want to get the air clear, because it's something I don't play, Kishma. I don't play with gossip and division and those fights and so forth. So in terms of people, I know people are talking to you about me. People are talking to me about you, and we're gonna discuss it right here, right now. It's something that I don't think any of us, either the two of us, are in favor of.
Right.
Yes, You feel a way on a particular subject, I feel a way on a particular subject, and so what? At the end of the day, I think both Kishma and I are platforms focusing on injustice. And that is something that we talk about all the time. That's something that I talk about. I say all the time that it is the basis of my platform. Injustice, regardless. However, at the same time, Virgin Islands, for Virgin Islanders, I'm 100% that Virgin Islanders are the most important, Virgin Islanders belongers are the most important or critical demographic in the BVI. At the end of the day, this is the BVI. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't look out for or support expats in this territory, because my dad is an expat. My dad is an expat. So a lot of what expats face now, I grew up with that. I grew up hearing my dad is an island man, or I have a last name that is not from here. My mom is from here, right, many generations, but I don't have a last name from here. So I grew up with that too. Oh, where's her last name from? Oh, she's not from here, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I've seen the blog say, to the government to send me back to St. Vincent. Which, I chuckle, but, so I relate to a lot of things, and I don't think they know that I could relate, because I do have that other side. But again, at the end of the day, for me, when it comes to issues or the Virgin Islands and critical matters and who fits in, of course, it's always going to be the Virgin Islander and the belonger first. And that is fair, because we don't have anywhere to go. An expat can get up, they can leave. And I know that there are expats that have been here forever. And I'm not saying that they should, if they don't like it here, pack up and go. That's not what I'm saying. People have all these preconceived ideas about me based on my position,
right,
with the regularization process. And my position on that, I stand in my position on that, and that was simply, where do we go from here? We need immigration reform. We need labor. We need all of these things. Where do we go from here? It cannot continue to be an open and free-for-all. And the fact is, if you've been here for so many years, yes, I don't think that should just automatically entitle you to rights here. What have you done to better the territory, the community? What has been your input? And these are things that I think across the board, even as Virgin Islanders, we need to look better at taking care of the BVI and so forth. We all have those things that we should, look at. So that has been my position. It remains my position. And like I said, that doesn't mean that, because all sorts of different people reach out to me for assistance on all sorts of matters across the board, whether it's labor, immigration, right, being treated badly at work, whose passports have been taken away, and so forth and so forth. And I will assist. Just like when the government decided that they were going to add an additional tax to our expat community. Okay, in particular, it would have been affecting our Caribbean brothers and sisters. I spoke out about that. I spoke out about that heavily, because it is not right.
Right.
Okay? I spoke out about the fact that they couldn't send their money out. Western Union remained closed after we opened, after COVID. I spoke about that.
Both to receive and send money.
Correct. I spoke out about that because it's not right. It's not right.
And
it's injustice.
I think it opened only to send out when at the time the people more needed to receive, mm-hmm, like they needed to receive money from the family bosses.
Yeah, they couldn't get anything or do anything.
Right.
And that was not right. So again, injustice is the basis of my platform.
Right.
And that doesn't have a skin color, a creed, or nothing fits in there.
I think what has rubbed people the wrong way, where you're concerned sometimes, is that you make very strong statements that may seem either extreme left or extreme right.
That's very true.
And people can't always see when you're towing the line down the middle, because and one subject you fair left and another subject you fair right. So then when you actually toe the line down the middle, you seem suspect because they expected you to only go either this way or that way.
And that's fair. That's fair because I barely toe the line.
Right.
I barely toe the line, and
right.
I appreciate that. I understand that. And then after that, I think that's when you jumped on your platform about a year ago. I think it's almost a year. And 6 months to 8 months. And your thing was the way that expats are treated in the territory.
It wasn't just that, it was a lot of different things.
Right, but that was the basis.
That was a big one.
And I understood that, and again, like I told you, I can empathize to that. Where you and I went our separate ways was where you thought the impact that expats had on us. And I think a lot of our people felt that they felt insulted by you because they felt useless in their territory.
I never understood, just like you couldn't understand why people feel the way they feel. I never understood why people felt useless and insulted because I kept repeating over and over again, just like you keep this explaining over and over again. I'm not saying that Virgin Islanders didn't do or didn't provide money or want a part of the building process in a more integral way at some point in time. They were. But they still are.
Not no.
They still are. We're still an integral part of our development.
Not no. If 98% of your construction workers are expats and you're only BVI
okay, let's look at it.
You're not part of the process.
Let's look at it this way, because when things come to the table, you have two things. Let's put it in this instance. So you're working, but you're working for money, so you're not doing it for free. So they're not laboring for free. And you know how I look at it, Kishma? Okay, they've done a great deal in helping us build the BVI in terms of labor. And I'm grateful. At the same time, you were paid. So how I look at it is the BVI's money has built up a lot of the Caribbean. So we can have that trade-off, and we can go from there. But that was the platform to which people continue to try to throw that little wrench in there in terms of, oh, but she wasn't on your side the other day. Why are you supporting her? Or, oh, you know, I don't think that's what either Kishma or I want or are interested in.
It's neither here nor there for me.
Correct.
I just want a better BVI.
For everybody.
And whoever could help strengthen the argument and the voice of a better BVI, no problem. If when you start pushing your own agenda and very left or very right, then yes, I would have to say that ain't necessarily my vision of a better BVI, but
right.
Other things line up with what I think is a better BVI. Mm-hmm. And that's it. The way I see things is a lot like a business in a company with board of directors. All the shareholders and all the directors will never always agree and have the same view, but you just need a majority consensus to move forward.
Correct.
All of us can't agree on the exact same thing in the exact same way.
Exactly.
And everybody ain't going to be pleased and everybody won't be happy. But if the majority is happy, whoever sucks salt, and who happy, and you keep rolling.
Cool.
Because you lose one today, you win one tomorrow.
Exactly. So on that, we just wanted to clear the air on that and to say that Kishma and I are definitely going to be moving forward on initiatives to better the BVI. We both have our voices, and anybody else with their platform happy to join us. So we're happy to join anybody, because our end goal is a better standard of living, a better life for everybody that lives within the BVI. On that, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and discuss the happenings from the weekend.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Good evening again. We're back. Kishma and I are here. We just cleared the air on a bit of a ticklish issue that some persons in the public continue to kind of throw at us, and we just wanted to clear the air on that. So now we're going to go into the issue that arose over the weekend. I'd say Friday. It came out Friday, and we're going to discuss that. The news broke on Friday.
Literally during one of my lives. Literally.
Yes. Yes, because I remember messaging you and saying,
Donkey threw up the I think it was Donkey threw up the link in the middle of my life asking about it. But I had heard like some preliminaries about it, but I didn't think it was actually going forward to the extent. So yeah, man, the impact of it didn't actually hit me until after I got
you came on the live. Yeah. So on Friday, a press release came out from 284 Media, and they were talking about the what do I call it? The issue on the table was oh my God, help me, Kishma.
Private insurance.
Yes, comprehensive worldwide private insurance for all legislators. It put the country in an uproar, and one of the reasons that happened too is that this came right on the back of the exit packages agreement. Yes, that bill, that the greedy bill, the exit packages legislation for legislators once they left the House. Now, the infuriating thing, I think, for everyone is that the BVI is in a precarious place right now. I'm going to say like the old people, we don't know if we're going or we're coming. And these guys continue to go in the House and come up with these things. They say that they've been sitting there on the books forever and they're not kicking the ball down the road. They're handling the issues now. But there are so many issues that have been kicked down the road that are so pressing, so important, and you can't bring them to the forefront, but you can bring to the forefront exit packages for you guys, money, insurance, policies, not just for you, but your families. So with the uproar, and I've said before, Kish might continue to say, you see this? When my people start to harass me and I can't rest, then I'm going to have to make a move. And that's when I get to my extreme points, when I'm over exerted and exhausted and contacted and people are upset. And I know we say, oh, why don't you go have the conversation yourself? I'm happy for my people to call me. I'm happy that they see me as a voice, and I'm happy to take up that fight for them, because I know that we have taken a lot of beating in the BVI, a lot of suppression. A lot of suppression, and it's not that easy for people to just come out one day and say, look, I'm going to go down the road and match. And I honestly feel, Kishma, that I'm in a position to do that because I've been gone for so long. I've come in on the back. I've been away for a while, and I've come in on the back. And so my mind is still free to be able to look at things and, say, I'm going to say what I have to say regardless whether you're upset or not. If what you're doing is wrong, it's wrong. So I'm happy to take on that task. Kishma is happy to take on that task as well.
I feel like I ain't got nothing else left to lose, because
we don't.
I'm losing too much. I'm losing too much. The country is losing too much. And at this point in time, I feel like if we don't do something, I'd rather lose my job and save this place than keep my job. And 20 years from now, my son in a worse position that I am in right now.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like when you look, because your son is 15. I have a 16-year-old. I have a 12-year-old. I have an 11-year-old. And I have to look at them and think, what is going to be there for them? And it's a real thing. It's a real thing. If you're a parent, if you're a mother, I guess mothers feel a little different. We have this feeling down inside that you always want your children to be okay. And when you look at what's going on, you know they are not going to be okay. No. And it's not fair, because all they have done is trusted us. All we have done is trusted our legislators. And they continue to fail us. So here they come with this bill. And so let's give some back on apparently how this bill came out. So there seems to be a back and forth now between the opposition, the sitting government.
Correct.
And so I think both Kishma and I are trying to make heads and tails of what's going on. We were on 106.9
What a basic-
just yesterday, and
Today.
Just yesterday. And so we were saying the conversation
Yesterday.
ended up being everybody, we need to bring everybody around the table because we don't want to say this one say this and this one say that. But to give some background, what we're understanding is that the Honorable Mitch Turnbull, who is a member of the Privilege Committee within the House of Assembly, brought to the committee, he brought up the issue that we pay out a lot of money in medical expenses for past legislators and apparently legislators. And so he wanted to look at a better way, an easier way on the government's purse. And so he suggested this insurance. What we're understanding, Kishma, you can butt in, let me know if I'm right or wrong, if I say the wrong thing. So what we're understanding is that what has gone, so all of them, I'm understanding, was in favor of this insurance plan. Where they have separated ways is the number of things, all that has been inserted
The extra stuff,
in that plan.
yeah.
So let me see if I can find the plan. So all of that, what has been the additionals that have been inserted within the plan.
The worldwide coverage,
Yeah.
the cosmetic surgery, a bunch of different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
The 5-year comprehensive, because most insurance companies don't write you an insurance plan for so many years because they tend to want to renew it every year based on what you spend and reset the premiums and things like that. For me, I can understand what it is that Mitch was trying to do. His head was in the right place, his head not so much. But he was only trying to fix a piece of an already broken system. Reason I'm going to say it's broken is because, let's be honest, let's look at our past legislators. They're prominent businessmen. They're prominent high-level civil servants. They're wealthy landowners, not necessarily cash wealthy, but
They're
land
landowners,
rich
correct.
wealthy. So I'm, as a private citizen, if I am land rich and I have spent all of my cash on my medical bills, there's no option for me to go to the government to ask the government to fork over cash to help me to pay my bills, which this is again part of the monster that I keep speaking about, because whomever set up this jokey thing in the first place,
The NHI, what you're referring to the
no,
NHI?
no. Before, whatever system that was in place that made it so that legislators think it was okay, all after they're out of the House of Assembly, to have their medical bills paid for, and whomever other legislators sanctioned it because it had to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It speaks to the level of the greed. No, that's one part of the problem for me. The second part of the problem is this: you are your family covered. No, in essence, whether they like it or they don't like it, the 13 elected officials are government employees.
Yes, they are. They're
And
hired
as-
by government.
Before, when we had regular insurance before NHI, if you had, you as the employee was half covered by the government, and only if your premium was $120 a month, government paid $60, you paid the other $60. So now, and if you wanted to put your child or your husband, your wife, your whomever dependents you put on, you pay the balance of the difference
Correct.
of what the cost is for
Correct.
dependents.
Correct.
Now, here it is, you want private insurance that we must fit for you, the 13. Then we must foot it for you and the rest of your family. And the things that you're asking for in this private insurance is above and beyond what
And it's
regular insurance should be.
Yeah, and it's just
asking.
not the 13. It's not the 13. It's the past legislators
and the
as
past,
well.
and the
Correct.
past legislators as well. Now, I feel as though if you're a landowner, if it's a legislator who somehow had a really bad run of luck and lost everything. Maybe him you consider. And this is why I think that they really should be doing things like working on the pension reform, because if they did pension reform, then they could, under the same pension reform, address the legislators, and in the same way that the civil servants would be required to pay into a pension fund, the legislators would then be required to pay in a percentage of their money to the pension fund. They're already getting paid way more money than most of the upper level civil servants, and it is an insult, I think, to the civil service whom you took insurance away from, gave us NHI. Most of us couldn't keep our
the whole territory.
insurance.
They gave the whole territory
Correct.
NHI.
Correct.
And I know
Correct.
that you speak to the civil service, but a lot of people, Kishma, cannot afford to have NHI and another insurance.
Correct.
They just
I
can't.
personally had private insurance after NHI came into being, and I was paying it up until it became too expensive for me to keep
Exactly.
me
So
and my
did I.
son
I
on it.
had to stop
and I
it.
had to stop paying the private insurance because I couldn't afford it. And then you're stuck with NHI. And
That really offers you-
By the way, there's some wordplay that people need to pay attention to at times. If an insurance program is supposed to be international, then it would have been called the International Health Insurance of the BVI. The same, you have to pay attention to the words that are used, they're intentional. The simple fact that it is called national meaning nation, nation meaning land. Don't come after the BVI to try to use it, because it's called the National Health Insurance of the BVI. So it means in the BVI it work, outside the BVI no use, and in the BVI it ain't even working to the fullest extent. If it was, like I keep saying, it needs to be, and I keep saying the solution is, and what I thought it was originally when they proposed it, that it would have been a hospital tax like the UK, where you pay into a public health scheme, basically, where all of the public hospitals sit on this, and you never pay a bill to go to these hospitals. You pay only when you seek private medical care, and if they did it like that and say the percentage was no more than between 1.5 to 2% directly at the hospital, then the hospital will never have to worry about running in the red, because there will be a fund that continuously funding the hospital, training nurses, training doctors, maintaining equipment, maintaining the hospital, and continually growing the hospital too, because eventually you'd have to reach the point of where you need the second one and the third one and the fourth one. But instead we created this thing that fleecing the hospital.
Yes, so now the hospital is in red.
Is in the red. They were in the red before.
The hospital is in the red.
It was.
NHI is in the red.
Correct.
So how is it that we can't see where we're going wrong, like from administration to administration? I understand that $1 million was put aside to research what is wrong with NHI and to fix it. $1 million
it's broke.
Put aside to
we were never
do that research.
Our public funds were never capable of carrying the burden that insurance companies carry. The reason, and I'm going to say this because from my experience with my mother who had cancer, right? The bills are expensive.
Yes, they are.
They're not cheap.
Yes, they are.
And she started off with Bupa, and Bupa swallowed them bills without even thinking twice, and then put no large amount of money on us. When they came out with NHI, I said the first 50 or 60 cancer patients go in there with long-term treatment plans, to which they're on chemo for months, radiation for even more months, and then other experimental drug. That's when they're going to realize what they're capable of doing and what they're not capable of doing, because that level of care is extremely expensive.
It is expensive in the US.
Correct.
And we continue, and I had this conversation with one of our legislators. We are under the UK, okay? And we don't look to them. We don't look to them for anything at all. When my sister got sick with cancer, the first place I said, let's head up to the UK. Their healthcare is good.
Correct.
You can get free healthcare. But do you also know that there is a number, I can't remember how many people per year that you can actually send to the UK from here. I don't know if we use it.
Nope.
It's like, I don't understand our mindset. Like, we're looking at everywhere, and there you have the UK that can offer so much relief and services.
Mommy and daddy willing to help.
And we don't want to take it, and I don't understand. I just can't get my mind wrapped around it. But anyway, this is happening with the comprehensive insurance for our legislators. I'm going to say straight up, I'm not for it. For past legislators or present legislators or their family. Make NHI work. Okay,
and another thing, make enough money, they could buy.
They do.
They could buy the additional coverage if necessary.
If they want to. And another thing, Kishma, this got me thinking that I, as a citizen and a taxpayer, I want to know the list of privileges that are afforded to our legislators, past and present. I want to know what is on that list and how long it lasts. Because from what I'm seeing, we are responsible for our legislators' medical bills until they die.
Seems that way.
How is that? I have to do some research to see if that is like a standard thing around the world, but I can't get my head wrapped around it. I just can't. So anyway, this has come up. The National Health Plan is a disaster. And so our slogan is, if it's good for them, if
it's good for us, it's good for them.
Okay, so if NHI is good for us to use, then it has to be good for them to use. And so we're going to call on the government, we're going to call on these guys to fix NHI. All we can say is that we're not going to pay this insurance. You guys can decide whether you're going to go ahead or not, but we are going to rally until you start listening to our voices, because our voices matter and what we want matter. Okay? This is just, I just can't wrap my head around this thing. It's like, and no wonder their thoughts are screwed up. They're not in there to make plans for you or to take this country forward. It's what else can I get out of this place? What else, when I go on retirement, can I set myself up? And can I say, Kishma?
I think they're delusional, because I really don't understand how they're so out of touch of reality with the people, because you come with one bill that pissed the people them off a couple weeks ago. Hey, you're coming again with more money. And it's always money for you.
Yep, and just before that, the whole fiasco with the agricultural money.
What happened with our children, with our schools, with our jobs, with our civil service, with our tourism sector, with our industries that are slowly being killed by these decisions that are making?
Correct.
You keep making these decisions, and it's like, and okay, for instance, there's been a whole lot, they make noise about the problems, none of them don't come with solutions. That means you ain't listening to my life, because I've been coming with solutions for a bunch of different problems.
Kishma, I said the exact same thing.
I've been coming with solutions. Even last week I gave a solution about the cost of living problem in the BVI, where I said that if the government was to put in them 27 public primary schools and their 3 public high schools a breakfast and lunch program, that's 2 less meals that single parents or even a nuclear family struggling to make ends meet has to buy. When you only have to buy dinner for your child and feed them on weekend, you know how much less groceries you have to buy. The pot you cooked the night before is your leftovers for you, so you can go to work with that.
Yeah.
You ain't worrying about the child eating during the day, because it's provided for. It's an avenue for jobs. It's an avenue for training ground for our necky chefs. It's a way in which to build or give our chefs training experience so that they could transition into hotel restaurant management. It's a way in which to correct the obesity problem, because they're trying them fat. Sorry to say, a lot of them.
You don't have to be sorry to say, because just a few years ago, the BVI had the highest rate of obese children in the Caribbean. So those are statistics.
Right? And not only with they're morbidly obese, which means you have a generation that's sick and dying before they even reach their prime. And these things need to be corrected. You say, nobody jumping on it. No, you got in the house, go somehow find money for private insurance when you took away all option of private insurance by the introduction, not this administration, but the government previous to them in general. You took it away, and then you come in. And by the way, remember, they when they campaigned, NHI was something else that them said they were going to get rid of. NHI was a problem. NHI was an issue, and they promised the people they were going to fix NHI.
Yes, because the NDP's rich friends were the one benefiting.
Correct.
Look,
and so
we're tired of these types of conversation, and we actually want to see action. So we were fed up. A lot of people were fed up, and so I decided that I was going to do a motorcade. I decided that like 6 o'clock in the morning, I started calling Kishma, messaging Kishma, and we tried to get this thing off the ground, but it was rain or shine or whatever, we were going to get on a truck on Saturday, and we were going to traverse this territory. We did so. We headed from town. We met at the Noah Lloyd Park. Thank you to those of you that came out and supported us. We really appreciate you. And to JTV, I want to say thank you for getting on the truck with us, and for the 18,000 people that has viewed that video to
Thank
date.
you for your support.
We are grateful. Thank you for your support. To the more than 1,000 people that were live on the trail with us for the entire time. Thank you for sticking with us. So we gathered at the Noah Lloyd Park.
1 second. And thank you to Vino for making sure those who missed the message when the revolution was televised will now go and see how the revolution was televised. So thank you very much for bringing even more attention to our cause.
Right. So we started out at the Noah Lloyd Park, and our path was up to Long Bush, down to Lower Estate. We did districts 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 as much as we could. Yes, when we got into the 7th district, our intention was to crash the Honorable Natalia Whitley's party, and we did that. I'm unapologetic about it. One of the things for me too with that has me furious is that there are a lot of families in the BVI right now that they just can't eat. They're on the door of eviction. I have one young lady that I'm working with at the moment that she has her 4 kids, and they're going to be homeless by the 30th of June.
Just before I got here, I got a message from
Durant.
Correct.
Right.
I got a message about that.
Yes, she has put out one today about another young mother with her 2 kids. And here you have the Honorable Natalio. And I'm not going to say that the government's purse paid for his party, but I need the paperwork to see that we did not. Even if it was your money, Honorable Natalio, based on what's going on in the territory, you couldn't find a couple families to give that money to or add to their rent. I mean, I feel like a lot of the ways that these guys behave is just irresponsible, and I don't think that they understand the plight of the BVI right now. Just the way they move,
and they
do not understand what the citizens and residents are dealing with.
No,
and I don't understand why they can't understand, because an entire leg of our industry is down. Our economy has crashed. So I don't understand why they are so laid back and just there's no urgency in them to understand what's going on with families in this territory. And so our intention was to crash it.
They can't understand what's going on with families because based on statements that's been made, both in the blogs and both by them personally, they're delusional when it comes to the reality of what people face. I mean, when you have, what you call it, the Honorable Minister, what's his name? Neville saying
Smith.
that there's no poverty.
There's no poverty.
There's no poverty in the BVI.
And then you have Honorable Flax Charles saying we're living above our means.
Then
that's the next they're totally out. And how fast do they get out of touch?
Here's the funny thing that I will say. As a civil servant, I'm going to defend most of the civil servants them right now, right? For years, when we complain about our level of pay and how it's subpar to what we would make doing the same job in the private sector, right? The answer that you always get from the upper ups is live within your means. No. I don't know if they realize we live within an upside down triangle. You at the upper end of the scale making money and living comfortable. us at the bottom of the scale, living paycheck to paycheck. There's no one for us to complain to besides you, because you are the boss.
But Kishma,
and you've created a system that keeps people where them is.
Exactly.
Government lives on having people stagnated within positions for years. No upward mobility, no training, no nothing. And then it's almost like there's a lot of supervisors who view giving you a raise or recommendation for raise as though the $5 extra a month or $5 extra a day or hour that you gonna make have to come from his pocket personally so you can make that $5 extra. And I hate that. And I think that's something that needs to be addressed. Like, y'all need to just stop telling us live within our means and get in touch with reality to what means actually is. If your base level salary puts me at $1,600 a month, and a 2-bedroom apartment is at the cheapest you'll find one right now is about $1,200 a month. You leave me $600 for food. $400, sorry, yes. You leave me $400 for food, electricity, water, and a phone because I need one, even if it's on top up. That's what you left me with. And so what do I do with that? I can't, even if I'm dial it back now. Say I'm a single person, still making the same $1,600. I live in a studio for lucky $700 a month. I'm left with $900 to make all of those things meet with.
But Kishma, I've said before, and I want to thank you on the show when I said that, or was I by myself? I said it is impossible to live within your means in the BVI. It's impossible. You just can't get it calculated, and
no,
because they just don't think on the, I'm going to say the 85%. Because the number is big.
It's impossible to live within your means because almost all of the grocery stores doing us this every week. So this week the measuring line is this, you spend $400 for 2 bags. Next week the measuring line is this, you're spending $500 for the same 2 bags you bought last week. The week after is $600 for the same 2 bags that you bought the week before and last week. And it's constantly going up. Food is our biggest thing. And the quality of our food is our biggest thing. And to think that so much money was spent in agriculture, we cannot see the fruits of the labor.
Well, you can't see the fruits of the labor when it goes into personal pockets. It didn't go into agriculture. It went into personal pockets. So you can't see the fruits of that labor. But on that, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back and tell you more about the past rally and the one that we have coming up this Saturday.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer in line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, son.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Over there. You must have cut fun topic.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man, to take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
What in the hell?
I'm freaking out.
Is about these people.
It's always a pleasure coming to you live and direct from the...
What's poppin'? What's really good?
Davis has won it for the Lakers.
Welcome back to Cut Deep. It's season 4, episode 4. Thank you to our sponsors and supporters for your continued support, for continuing to have our back each week. I have Kishma in studio with me tonight, and we're discussing the events of the past weekend. And we're going to continue with that. We talked about the motorcade that we did, which was we consider to be extremely successful. Anyway, we headed out to District 7. I want to say something quickly because I was very disappointed by the Honorable Natalio Wheatley. He's going to have to tell me that he actually did not set the police on us. And even if he does tell me that he did not, I would not believe him. I'm going to tell you why. When we gathered at the Noah Lloyd Park, and I'm going to talk about it because it really bothered my spirit based on who Natalio says he is or was, or, you know, we gathered at the Noah Lloyd Park on Saturday, 4 o'clock. While we were setting up the truck, 2 police vehicles came there.
Correct.
Okay, 2 police vehicles came there, and they had about 5 officers in these vehicles. They looked around, they looked at what we were doing, they, you know, casually talked to a couple people,
and
but they didn't, right, but they didn't say anything to us. They didn't ask us if we had permission. And the fact is we didn't have permission. It was something that we just decided that morning. We were just gonna have a small speaker. I did not think we needed permission to be on the road and to have a conversation. Anyway, they didn't say anything to us. As we passed along, we passed along. There were police vehicles that passed us, tooted, waved. We went around and we came down by the Rotan police station. There were officers outside. They waved to us. You know, we said a few things to them, a few encouraging words and so forth. And then we headed up to Bargas Bay District 6, and then we headed out to the 7th District. When we got to the 7th District, as we're speaking and so forth and just saying what we had to say, I see Natalio go past the police officers. And then they were coming out to the truck and telling the truck to turn around. And that's fine. That's fine. We didn't want to hold up traffic anyway. What we were doing, our job was done. So we turned around and we were gonna leave. On our way leaving, coming out to find food, there was another police truck there, pulled on the side for us to pass.
Did not stop us.
Did not stop us.
Actually, he made it easy for us to make the turn because he kind of...
Right, yes, he pulled on the side. And we're heading out. Now, as we're in the 8th District, we finished in the 8th District, and that was due to the weather. Right up there in Paramtown, we decided once it started to rain, we said we're going to call it a night, we're going to call it a day, and we're going to continue. This Saturday coming, we'll do District 1, 2, and 3. So we had called it a day, turned around, and we were heading back to town now, and the police with their all glorious sirens and blue lights drove up in front of my car and started to speak to the person that was driving my vehicle. Anyway, I came off of the truck, and yes, I might have been a little rude, and I think I was rude because of how it had happened and the intention behind of it. Okay, I felt like the Honorable Natalio Wheatley did that to us, and it's disappointing to me because he says, or he appeared to be one of our revolutionaries. He said he would get on speakers, he'd go down the road, he'd stand up here and he'd make noise, and nobody ever attempted to harass him
or tell him leave.
So I can
and he matched a lot of times.
Yes, he did. And so I can tell you that it's very disappointing for me. However, you can sleep on that. Before we can get out the door, the flyer that we had made, they had plastered fake news all over it, sent it out, and so forth. But anyway, all of that is past. The weekend was a success. We're grateful. There's no fake news on this. We are grateful again to those people that supported us and that continue to support us and that continue to call us and give us encouragement. Again, I understand the fear of victimization, and I feel when our people are ready to get up and move, they will. I'm confident in that. Okay, so this coming Saturday, June 12th, it's here. We're going to send out the flyers this week. They're going to come out. We're going to gather once again at the Noah Lloyd Action Park at 4 p.m. And we're going to do Districts 1 2, and 3. If you want to join us, we are going to go ahead and get permission from the police, as we know now that we have to. And so we're going to do that. We want you guys to come out to help us make noise. You're unhappy, we're unhappy with the way the territory is being run, and we want to...
And continue to give us the issues as well.
And continue to send us in your issues. We want to cover all these things as we are on the trail. We want you to come out and support us. Bring your signs. Bring your signs. We're going to head out to Districts 1, 2, and 3 this Saturday. We're going to start at the Noah Lloyd Park. We're also going to have a petition going on. And we're going to end it with a small rally right there at the Queen Elizabeth Park. I'm sure we probably have to get permission to go in this park too, that we pay our tax dollars for. Okay, so those are the plans. And if you can't make it on the motorcade, come, yes, join on the live. Come over to the Queen Elizabeth Park, and we can talk about the issues and share ideas, and just see how we can do better by this territory. Again, there's a lot going on. Our economy has crashed. To date, we can't get a tourism plan for these. For the reopening of our tourism. And I'm going to share something with you right now. Do you guys know? I know that the cruise ships are supposed to be back in this month, but do you know that we have the first cruise ship next week on the 14th of June? I haven't.
So where Vajrayana people is going to go?
The thing is, we don't have any details. We do not have any details. They've talked about these bubbles. We just don't know the plan.
I do believe June 14th. Your premier isn't away right now in some kind of meetings with some cruise ship people, and
I've seen some pictures going up.
Some kind of relationship that they're trying to build with the cruise industry right now.
I see some images going up. I don't know exactly, but I know I got an itinerary where the first cruise ship is going to be here on June 14th. Who are the taxi operators that will be operating? I understand that there's one single taxi operator,
right,
that will be doing all the work. I don't know if that is true. I'm going to let the Minister for Tourism come out and give the territory the plan. We don't know the bubbles or how anything is functioning. Like, we just don't know. So I was surprised.
We spent a lot of money a couple months ago moving Vajrayana over to the Pear Pack. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to
intermingle again, correct?
Move them. They can't stay there. Based on maritime laws, they can't stay there. I don't know if you never noticed, no small boat don't be to no other thing don't come and leave from a cruise ship pier besides the cruise ship itself.
Well, the cruise ship pier is the one out. These are extra docks. The thing is,
but you have to create security,
right.
And where they are is part of the offloaded area, number one. I said from get-go when I saw them doing that foolishness, we could have simply, West End is actually in working condition, because they had to fix West End after Hurricane Irma. They had to do something with West End, open West End for the international ferry travel, and leave Vajrayana continue to go back and forth through Rotong.
Kishma, I don't know what to say. I just know that there's a cruise ship coming in here on June 14th.
I will be staying home that day, because y'all won't make me sick.
There is no plan.
Every time them scheduled to come in, I will stay home.
Yeah, and it's very scary to think about, because you just can't get anything out of these guys. So we know that they talked about these bubbles. The taxi men were being encouraged to get their vaccines, but now I'm understanding that they're not even in the mix at all. And there's just one ferry company that's going to be doing the runnings. I don't know how that's going to work, given the whole industry is done. I mean, to me, it just sounds like chaos. It sounds like continued division again. I just want these guys to get themselves together. I just don't know. I just don't know. So that is happening next week. When the thing said the 14, I was like, but that's next week. And we don't have any details. The premier isn't here. An updated press release has not gone out.
And he won't be back either.
He's supposed to be back on the 10th.
Oh. I thought it was...
Or maybe he's already here and he's in quarantine, because I know that Natalio's thing is done on the 9th or the 10th, something like that. So he'll be here. We just don't know what's going on. And I guess we would
really
like
know
to
what's
know
going on until they bring out one of these press conferences when they follow it up with, we're doing the people's work. I love how they're doing the people's work with this private insurance.
Correct. We're not interested in that private insurance.
They did it with the greedy bill too.
Yeah. So people are at their wean. We're exhausted, and
Sydney,
we just don't want to play these games anymore.
It's extreme. I don't think people think when I speak and you speak with our individual platforms, or even when I'm here on Cut Deep, or you are on one of my lives, that they just making noise. That's them not saying them two lunatics, them two crazy women, them two crazy back making noise again. People are listening to us. Way more people are listening to us than they think. Way more people are hearing us. After I did the live about the greedy bill and trying to get the petition out, there are people approaching me, citizens of this country who I know they can't use Facebook, me asking you. And they're finding somebody account to say, this is so-and-so, this is my granddaughter account I'm using. Please let me know when the petition is ready. I will sign it. I'm not hiding. I don't want to be anonymous. I want to be counted. Right. Yeah. I want them to know that I signed it.
Correct.
I have all the family members, people who are near and dear to my heart. Like my grandmother and my grandfather died a long time ago. But there's like that kind of old. And they're saying, Kishma, don't stop. Keep going. People it can't be a one-off. Yeah. And you can't give up. and we are glad that you are out there speaking for us who cannot speak, and being the voice and being the gap between the victims and the victimizers.
Somebody has to do the dirty work, and I tell you, like, I don't have a problem doing it. And I know that my people will find the energy to stand up. I know they will. Well, just give them a moment.
Yeah, like I told them, and like we said when we did the radio interviews. Yeah, the people who follow us, them were more civil servants than not civil servants. So we understand that people are fed up.
Yeah, Kishma, listen, I don't listen to the negative talk, and that's why I'm able to continue in the space that I continue in, with the attitude and strength that I continue, because I don't have time for the noise. The noise doesn't concern me. What your parents used to say, it's not what they call you, but what you answer to. And if in this day and age, we're in 2021, and we're still with that whole, somebody has given their opinion and you're trying to label them crazy. Where's your IQ? Where's your IQ? Like, that is, are we not a little more intelligent than that these days? You know? So nobody's buying into that. They've tried to start a lot of different stories on me. I'm bitter because I lost my job. And people have shut them down every time, because people are like, well, this girl has been talking from before. She helped you get elected. So how is she bitter now when she's highlighting the crap that you're doing? You know, so they've tried to start stories. They'll be just fine. They'll be just fine. I don't listen to the negative talk. Please don't listen to the negative talk.
Oh, no, it's entertaining.
There's a lot of support.
It's entertaining for me. I just watch it to laugh, and it lets me to know how out of touch to reality the VIP supporters are, well as the administration, there's a handful. As well as their cronies. So that shows me how out of touch. They're more. I know that I am making a mark, and I don't mean it's in any kind of bad way for anyone who gets offended. When the Caucasian members of the community are reaching out to me and telling me their issues, and telling me don't stop, and asking me when I'm doing the next live, I know that we are making a mark.
Yes, we've been making marks, honey. Here we go. Keep going. Thank you for tuning in once again. We've come to the end of another show. I'm hoping that I can celebrate my 1 year anniversary next year with the roundtable that I have planned. Again, thank you for tuning in. Do enjoy the rest of your night, and do not forget to join us on Saturday on the rally. We're going to be sending out the information. Thank you for supporting us, and have a good night.